Carl Roottree. Okay. Is it here? WRTD News is your local investigative jazz radio station. During their news segments at 45 minutes on the hour, they have been talking about the plane crash. This most recent hour, they also talked about a picture taken from Carl's office after the plane crash and promised an interview online with a psychologist. During the interview, it's revealed that there was no break-in. Instead, someone with the key to the office took the picture after discovering the pipes burst due to a recent storm. This means it was likely someone close to the family who was aware of the photo's history and wanted to save it. The psychologist, however, also goes on to posit the culprit had an alternate agenda, specifically because no one in the family has come forward to say they have it in their possession. A comment below the article says, "Don't believe their lies. This is just another instance of the Roottree curse being a real, true thing. I bet you Carl was murdered and the picture has the evidence on it." Oh. The Roottree curse, eh? Let's look that up, actually, before I go look at whatever they just put in the evidence. There's a long, rambling conspiracy website with a very small, very red text on a black background that says the Roottrees are cursed. It's been very recently updated with the following. Important update. With Carl and Brenda and their girls, that makes 5 new deaths. Not only that, but 3 of the 5 presidents of the Roottree companies have died mysteriously. They say Guy's car was hit by a drunk driver in 1982, but no one was arrested. Then Ernie Madsen Jr. stepped down. Was he poisoned? Now, just this week, Carl died in a plane crash. This cannot be a coincidence. There's another entry that claims if you connect the dots in the pattern of the 5 pieces wrapper, it creates a Mayan ruby skull? A secret message meant to subliminally scare people away. The post before that has a link to a site that talks about how Earth has 4 corner simultaneous 4-day time cubes. The author of this site seems to agree. An entry from a few months ago claims that the owner of the site received an email from Chris Raff, 75, at prodigy.us, asking him to take down his site with faked proof that Ernie Madsen Jr. actually had a heart condition and wasn't poisoned. The owner claims that although the proof looks quite creditable, he knows the proof was fake because he's an expert at creating fake evidence. Well, that's not suspicious at all. The first entry is from 1996 and has a blurry picture of the Roottree Candy Company factory, seemingly taken by the website's author from behind a fence and through some trees. It seems that Operation RT-29 is real. I witnessed a helicopter land on February 29, 1996. The website footer says all images and ideas by Thomas Overwood. Okay, so let's look up Chris Rafferty. Wasn't there some evidence? Oh no, I'd have to go to this screen for that, but not long before the mysterious guest was set to return, you heard something odd on WRTD radio. The photo you were given may have been stolen from Carl's office? The newscaster mentioned you could search online for WRTD to find out more. Okay, interesting. So who could be a Rafferty? Carl's second cousin, Ernie Jr. So, is this currently in the right place for that? No, it looks like it might have to go up a level. Okay, no, Zach is on this level of seniority. Wait, is he? Wait, I'm getting a little confused. No, Zach is the next generation. Let's look up Guy Hudson. Okay. Fancy Flavors was an addition to the 5-piece product line for less than a year in 1979. It was Guy Hudson's first and historically most cited move as president of Roottree. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to start taking a note of when they were president to try to figure out the order. In an attempt to cater more towards what he thought the average person wanted, Guy looked at his own wealth, which was often a source of envy for others, and decided to tap into the idea that if they added fancy flavors to 5 pieces, anyone could live like the wealthy. This philosophy led to a flavor in 5 pieces that was meant to mimic caviar. 5 pieces sold less that year than it had any other year except in some foreign markets. It was very quickly announced that caviar was meant to be a limited flavor and would go back to normal as soon as possible. That's funny. Okay, Zach Wilson. Was that not his name? No, it is Zach Wilson, but I missed an H. Wait, I don't think that can be Guy. No, because there are 3 boys here and 1 girl. So there has to be another girl, actually. I think it's her. I don't think her name is Bethany, however. Let's see what else we have left. Was this Gwendolyn, actually? She was a housewife because all of the Roottrie women before a certain point were housewives. Ah, and her husband was named Wilson. Or something like that. Her husband may be different. So their children should both be Wilsons then. Zach Wilson and Jem Wilson? Interesting. Can I look up Jem Wilson, I wonder? No. I don't think this is quite correct. I think I messed this up somehow. This has to be correct. But I feel like... Who's this? Wait. Am I getting things mixed up? No, okay. So she must be Gwendolyn. Mr. Morden was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. So it is Morden, James Morden. Or no. This was James Morden. I am a little bit confused, though, as to how Zach would be a Wilson, then. Is her husband a Wilson? But that would make absolutely no sense. Because Zach could not be from her line. Well, there's something wrong with Zach Wilson. Because this didn't click. So was he the second president? And then was Guy the third? I don't think so. It wouldn't make sense for Zach to be his son. Oh my gosh, I accidentally got that one correct. Is Zach Wilson maybe here? And in which case, third president. Let's see if this works out. Because if she's with James Morden, Angie was, yes, that lines up better. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it. Oh, this is the free spirits. Okay, so this is supposed to be... Well, these two are either siblings or married. This is probably all the root trees, in which case they have to be siblings. She just looks angry. Who's... Oh, that's another picture of Miracle Jr. What did he want to be? Maybe a driver? Because they were saying that he was awfully young and being told how to speed by Sam. So who's young? Maybe him. Eli M. So maybe this is Eli M. No, that's Eli M. Wait. Oh my gosh, I've lost track of where that picture even is. He'd be on this one. The name was Eli M. And his last name is Roottree. So it had to be in one of these people's lines. So this has to be Eli M. Yeah, he does look like a race car driver. So they said Bonnie as well, and that was the free spirits. So that would be this generation. There has to be a Bonnie. Wait. Was it Zachariah Morden? That might be it. That would make more sense. Especially with Angie being right there. Where's that group picture? She's in here somewhere. Isn't she? Wait, is she not in here? Maybe this is Angie. So Clark is in here somewhere. Is he blonde like his mother, I wonder? I wish I knew... Wait, no. His mother was brunette. So maybe this is Clark. So let's go over here. So I think maybe Clark got married to Kim LaRue. Let's see if I can look up Edward Roottree. Okay. Let's see if I can look up Clancy Edward. Okay, this is just the Clancy Trust. This has to be November. Is this maybe Clark? That could also be him. Here she is. This kind of looks like him. It's not a good match, though. I feel like that's a better match. But I'm not sure. Can't be sure until, things click. Hmm. Okay, so who's Bonnie? Bonnie Hudson. Let's see if we can find anything out about her. No. Well, this is getting harder. Alrighty. So, I think I'm actually going to start out today by rereading some of my notes because I realized I recorded quite a few things early on that I completely forgot about, and I only realized that when I was going back to edit. So birth name is Carly Roottree. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children. Okay, so that is actually super helpful because I don't think I filled in all of the 5 pieces quite yet. We also have confirmation that Elias Roottree Jr. is an architect. Okay, so wait, did I fill in all the 5 pieces? I might have. Okay, not quite. This might be wrong actually. Where's that 5 pieces? There we go. Power plum, awesome apple, bad blue raspberry, cool chocolate. Oh, this is the current flavors though. So this might actually have something similar to do with the current generation, maybe? So apple, raspberry, chocolate, plum, and strawberry. Maybe not. Okay, so that might not be it. But if I can find out what the original flavors were, that would really help. Ah, okay. Oh, this would have told me the order. Oh, okay. So grape, elderberry. So Gwendolyn Roottree, Elias Jr., Clark E. No, the Melon and Miracleberry. Melon was Margolite. Clancy. Okay, Clancy was his name. Could the names be for the youngest generation? Chocolate. Raspberry. There's still something to do with this, though. And there's still something to do with this. Okay, so let's go back through this really quick. Being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. And that does match up with the order that I have them in left to right. So we did look up Starlet. Maybe I should look up Harrison Lane. Let's try that before I forget. Okay. Harrison Lane was a television actor with a major role in Guys Like Us and some other films. His largest role before Guys Like Us was as the villain in the first season of Western Frontiers. Due to the popularity of Guys Like Us, the studio brought Lane back to play the villain's twin brother, this time as a hero joining the protagonist. Western Frontiers has no connection to the Roottrees. Harrison Lane seems like a dead end. Harrison Lane married his high school sweetheart after they reunited at a movie premiere. So could he have married Gwen? Because this is not necessarily correct. So that was Harrison Lane. So we know that Elias Jr. is an architect. Did I fill that in already? Where's Elias Jr.? Is this maybe Elias Jr.? Wait. I'm so confused. Clancy told me everything got quite heated. None of his sons will take over as president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it for so long. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn five-piece. Was Zach correct then? No. That's not showing as correct. So this might be Zachariah Morden. President. But Angie was supposed to be older, actually. Angelica Morden. No, this has to be him. It went to Zach. According to this, yes. Angie's older than Zach, and I'm the next oldest of us all. So, well, it wouldn't compare from here to here. Oh, there he is. Okay, that does actually match up already. What do I have left to do with this? So who was Sam? Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy. So this should be, he's married to Patsy. So that's Patricia Jones or Patricia Christensen, not quite sure which. And what was Sam's full name? I don't think they gave us a full name. Let me see. Okay. Sam's a guy, so that probably should not be related. So Guy Hudson has to be in here somewhere. But can't be here. Miracle has the Roottree last name. But they said Pop insisted that this branch of the family take over the company because they were the only one with the Roottree last name. Okay, is there anything more about Diamond or their children? Let's look up Diamond's Dazzlers. Diamond's Dazzlers is the name of the official fan club for Jim and Diamond. You find a forum post called Cool Things You Got in the Mail on a random forum about video games. One reply mentions that Jim and Diamond still send out a Christmas card every year to Diamond's Dazzlers. It's accompanied by some pictures as well as some history about the fan club. Apparently, even though it's no longer available to join, Jim and Diamond still honor it themselves personally. There's a fierce debate in the subsequent posts about whether that's cool or pathetic. Amongst the picture of Christmas cards from over the years, only one is relevant. The card from 1996 includes pictures of Jim and Diamond's young son, Wolf, as well as a note about his daughter's band, the Floozies. Okay. So we've got a picture, a band to look up, and a name. Okay. A picture of his son, Wolf, listening to his parents' latest music. Interesting. So... Wolf, Roottree, and this is the picture. And the sister has a band named the Floozies. They're an all-female punk band operating out of New York City. They're mentioned in passing in an online review from earlier this year. Apparently, they were the opening act for the band the reviewer actually came to see. The reviewer writes that she normally doesn't review the opening act, but this one was unusual, and not because of the music, which she described as loud, fast, and repetitive, but not in the good way. The trio was extremely cagey about their identities. The reviewer asked the venue who they were and was told that they were rumored to be the children of other famous musicians and didn't want that to be why they became popular. The reviewer also mentioned that for an underground and unknown band with absolutely no following, their equipment was all extremely expensive, and not only were they selling CDs, but they only cost $1. They were probably losing a fortune. The reviewer said although she bought a copy, she would be unlikely to listen to any of it again except maybe Beef Baby, the 7th track. There's no picture of the Floozies performing live, but the cover from the CD they were selling, Conquistador, has been added to your evidence. Okay, let's see that picture. Ah. So this has to be Candy. And that means that this should be Candy. And that is her actual name. Wonderful. This should be correct, actually. I'm not quite sure about Wolf. Because... what did I record in my notes? Young son Wolf, as a note about the daughter's band, the Floozies. Okay. So he might not actually be a musician. I'm not quite sure about that one. Alright, we've got to be... we've probably got to look at this picture. No, this one. And this should have, yeah, this should have the rest of that generation. So there were only 3 women in that generation. I still want to know who Sam is. So wait. So if she's here with her 3 brothers, and this is Zach, and that's Miracle Jr., then doesn't Sam have to be... No, he's technically still a 5-piece. That's so odd. I wish I could track down what their occupations were. That's kind of what's tripping me up right now. $1979 was when Guy Hudson. Okay, so Guy Hudson was president in 79. Ernie Jr. had just become president in 87. So, where's Ernie Jr.? Ernie was Clark's second cousin, so... And Guy Hudson was actually in the one from the 70s. In the picture from the 70s. So So that's actually this generation. He has to be here somewhere. Maybe I can find something about Elias Roottree Jr. If only we had the time or resources to look into it further. Oh, wait, did I look this up? I don't believe I did. Bess Williams. Bess Williams. An old book about Elias Roottree. There's no downloadable version available because the book is impossible to find these days. Okay. So there were two other women other than Lauren in this generation. It was Gwen and one other. Oh, it's Angie. So this is most likely Angie, and she was most likely a housewife. So that's all three women of this generation. So let's look up Sarah Cosell. No, nothing. Darn it. Okay. I'm very tempted to try a hint, actually. You know what? I think I'm gonna try that because otherwise I'm gonna be stuck here trying to figure that out for quite a bit. See what this does. Don't know where to look next. If you're completely stuck, try talking it through with your rubber duck. Lauren Roottree mentions an old book of hers in one of the diary entries. Oh! Is that the final clue in here? Swashbuckle My Heart. Based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob. Zach's not a bad president, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Gwen is Gwen. Goodness gracious. Let's see. This might be in Lauren Roottree. Out of print. Re-released as X Marks the Spot. Interesting. This must be the republished version under Roottree. Okay, so it's fiction romance. A Buried Treasure by Lauren Roottree from the author of the Court series. It also says... Oh! Keep an eye out for Lauren Roottree's next book, Revisiting the Diary 10 years later. Oh! Oh, scandal. Sam. Clark. Names. Anger. Oh, something happened. Okay. This was a version of Lauren Roottree's diary released in 1975. Unlike the original diary, it contains no pictures but has many new passages that reflect on her thoughts 10 years later. One major event happened between the releases that changed Lauren's outlook on certain subjects, the death of Elias. A summary of the fallout has been added to your notes, as well as some other select pages. Oh my goodness. We've got a whole lot to go through. Scandal. The new diary opens with an explosive incident that happened in the decade between the release and re-release of Lauren's diary. Elias Roottree had died, and during the reading of his will, there was an audible gasp when a certain name was read aloud. Samantha Roottree. Although Sam and her children were not meant to receive monetary inheritance, he had a stipulation that she retain the rights to run the farm and any and all decisions related to it. So Sam must be the son of Samantha? It's a little bit odd, but they did specifically mention that Sam was a he, so I'm a little bit confused. It was then that the scandalous secrets came out. None of the 5 pieces were surprised, but it was quite a shock to everyone else, including Sam. She'd been told her parents died. Apparently, Sam was the illegitimate daughter of Elias Jr. and Patricia Christensen. Oh. So Sam is... I'm a little bit confused. So Sam is a girl. Interesting. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul... Well, actually, you know what? First, let me highlight this. Patricia, the daughter of a local steel mogul, and Eli Jr. harbored a secret romance at age 16. She became pregnant, and after the birth, her father refused to let her see Eli Jr. ever again. Her baby, Samantha, was sent to the Roottrees. Elias hid her away with a local farmhand known as E.C. Patricia was married off to a much older man and sent away. That was the end of that. Almost. None of the next gens had ever met or heard of Patricia until she unexpectedly reappeared, now going by Patsy. After Patsy's husband died, she reunited with Eli Jr., and they finally married in their 50s. That's actually really sweet. Aww. Lauren mentioned the wedding in her first diary without knowing Patsy's history. Eli Jr. had never taken another lover. Lauren, ever the romantic, quite appreciated this. When Patsy and Eli Jr. finally married, Elias decided Sam should have been a Roottree in the first place. Even though she was not part of the clan's said trust, he wanted to include her in family affairs. That was what led to Lauren's initial entry entitled Sam. Oh my goodness, that is so much juicy, juicy gossip. So Eli Jr. So where's Eli Jr.? Okay. Patricia, not this Patricia, the other Patricia. Christensen. And then their child was one of those women from the picture. Interesting. Samantha Roottree. Okay. And maybe this was her? Then this must be Angie. Okay. I'm not quite sure what she did professionally, but we're gonna just do that. Okay. So that's a whole lot. Wow. This is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary. It's a companion piece to the entry about Sam. Clearly, I did not know our true family history when I wrote this. I didn't even know Sam was a Roottree. All of my doubts were ill-founded. She's a fine woman. Had she the chance to grow up with us, Sam might have been the sister figure Gwen never was. Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. It's been a long, long time since any real Roottree was as excited and interested in the actual candy as Ernie. As a bonus, Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adoptive grandfather. Interesting. So they have 2 children, Gwyneth and Ernie Jr. Interesting. What I'm most ashamed of is not figuring it all out myself. Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her jet black hair and green eyes. She doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, of course, but I guess that skips a generation. Her children have that covered. It's hard to explain the look on Pop's face when they read that the farm's operations would pass to Samantha Roottree for as long as she was willing. I got flashbacks to when Zach was made president. Mother reframed it a bit to calm him down. Sam wouldn't receive any candy money, after all, and was essentially inheriting the right to rule over the peasants for eternity. Pop warned us away from that farm for years. I never met EC in person, but Pop once referred to him as a confirmed bachelor, and I suspect that's why he kept us from there. Sam had to grow up in a house with him and his roommate, Mr. Miller. I'm not sure Sam will ever forgive Uncle Junior or Patsy for abandoning her to that life. If I was her, I might never forgive them either. But even so, she seems to blame more than just the two of them. She has no problem with us next gens, but she has a palpable hatred for the Five Pieces and Elias and Gwyneth. Oh? Oh my goodness. So, Sam doesn't have the thick glasses Patsy did, but her children have that covered. Is this Ernie? Wait, let me check that again. Yes, Ernie, okay. And Gwyneth has the green thumb of her mother and her adoptive grandfather. So this must be Ernie? Ernest. I don't know her husband, but must be Ernest Madsen, so this must be Ernest Madsen Jr. This must be Gwyneth. Madsen. So, Gwyneth Madsen. Married to Sam Cattrall. Okay. So, Gwyneth Madsen has to be in the 70s picture, I assume. Actually, there has to be another picture of James. Oh, and they did say that her children both had glasses. So, this one? So, did we get all of the women from that picture? I feel like no. I feel like we didn't. We most certainly did not. Okay, so now we've got everyone's pictures. So this must be Gwyneth because she also has glasses. She has a green thumb. So farmer. Also, is she a she is a farmer because they said that she could have the farm as long as she wanted. Oh, so the sun's not quite right. But I did get Samantha Roottree and Gwyneth Madsen. Interesting. Oh.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it. But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed. I'm a Roottree.
Why is that said so ominously? That seems unnecessary, but okay.
I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of. If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
15. Oh my goodness. Okay. Was that always open? Huh. Interesting. Let's see what this has to say. Instead of returning, the person who hired you called you on the phone. They claimed they were a root tree. They also told you they'd give you more of an explanation the next time they returned. That was the worst update ever. She didn't tell us anything. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ernie Jr. Okay, Ernie and the kids are lucky to have her, and her children seem eager to help the family in their own ways. Ernie Jr. has been learning the day-to-day from Zach. Oh, wait. So this must be Ernest Madsen. And this must be Ernie Jr. And I believe he was the fourth president. I believe that should be correct, actually. So I think the lady at our door must be one of these two people. Because she sounded pretty angry about, I am a root tree. It's very interesting. Okay, so that really should be good. So Sam's a spitting image of Patsy with her black hair and blue eyes. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go to the next. This is a page of additional notes and context from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary. It's a companion piece to the entry about her son, Clark. Reading this back, I get déjà vu. As I write this addendum, Clark's gotten married again. No root tree has ever remarried. Sure, I lost Jacob, and Gwen divorced Bill just before she had her second. Not even I can blame her for that. I've seen what he gets up to in Starlet. But neither of us ever took a second husband. So it really was Wild Bill. I'm gonna have to try to look that up. With the way the world is moving, I guess it was inevitable someone in this family would remarry. I just wish it wasn't my son. I can only wonder if Clark's apparent disrespect for marriage is due to the lack of a real father. I did what I could, and Lord knows Eli C. stepped up and helped. More than I can say for Clancy or Edward. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers whenever he could. Eli's marriage seems fine, and Jim's marriage seems solid as a rock, pun intended. So who knows what causes these things? Okay, so Eli C. is James's father. James's father. Eli C. practically raised Clark and Jim as brothers. Let's highlight that as well. I suspect that he's marrying Jane to keep her from running out on the band. Without her, he'd be the third wheel, and I imagine they wouldn't last long as a trio. But still, I don't think a marriage on such a shaky foundation like that can last. And Lord knows I was right last time. Okay, so Clark's second marriage is Jane. Let's do that first. Jane. Who was Jane? Was that Jane LaRue? Yes. Okay, so I just had the wrong LaRue. So this must be Kim LaRue. No, never mind. That doesn't make much sense. So Eli C. was Jim's father. I don't know what his occupation was. I don't think there's anything else I can get out of this besides Wild Bill, which I'm so confused about that. So there's no Bill, there's no William, there's no Will, there's no Bill in general. I have no idea what his name would be on here, because that's who I'm talking, that's who she married. And I know that Wild Bill is a nickname, not his real name, but I have no idea how to find his real name. Oh well. So Clark Rafferty is a musician. That should be correct. LaRue. I don't know what Edward. Well, you know what? Let's go on and see what's in the other two. This is a page from the 1975 10-year anniversary re-release of Lauren's diary. It's not a companion piece to any specific entry, but addresses feedback. The biggest complaint I got after publishing my diary was how many similar names there are. And I get it, there are 4 Elis for Pete's sake. But that's how it is. Someone would say, I saw Eli in town, and I wouldn't know which one they meant. My brother, my uncle, my cousin? That's why they became Uncle Junior, or Miracle's Eli, or Eli C. So Eli M is definitely Miracle's other son. I wonder if he became a mechanic. That would make sense. Sorry. Our family's names were always unusual. Grandpa Elias was a believer in using the names of each generation to honor those in the last. His father and grandmother Gwyneth's father were named Edward and Clancy, so now you see where my pop's name came from. One thing that's always been consistent in our family, though, is that anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. That goes for Miracle, Eli, or even Clancy. With the women, however, it all goes out the window. I think Gwendolyn got her name from some combination of Gwyneth and Caroline, who was Elias's mother. Women's names tend to get all mixed up as the generations went on. I guess that's because there's no female equivalent of junior. So if you're reading my diary and confused, you're not alone. Even the government had problems. I remember once receiving certified mail for an Edward Clancy Roottree. I had to break the news they got my father's name backwards. That's pretty funny. So... anytime someone's a junior, they're always the firstborn son. Is there any instance where I did not follow that rule? Firstborn son. Firstborn son. This is a page from the 19th. Okay, I'm not going to read this again. It's not a companion piece, but rather a fun bonus. Apparently, this is the first thing she could find that she ever wrote. She knows it was for a school assignment about anger, and she believes, based on the teacher's name, she must have been in the 3rd grade. She doesn't exactly remember the events spelled out here, but she does remember getting in trouble. I got angry when I met a new girl who I do not like. She was dirty and didn't have a pretty dress. Me and Pop walked home in town, and she hugged him. When I told her he was my Pop, she pushed me. I got angry and yelled at her, and Pop said to treat her nice. Then she said, "Your Pop is my dad." She screamed it real loud in my ear. She was lying to me, and lying is not a nice thing, so I pushed her too. Then I got in trouble. Then Pop took her away. He told me, "Don't worry. I am glad she's gone." Oh. Did he have an illegitimate child? That's interesting. So this child should be a Roottree, because they will be the son of a Roottree. So Zach was 3rd, and before Zach was Guy Hudson, but he was very brief. Okay, they include Bonnie, next President Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth M, Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim, Roottree, Clark, Earl, and Eli M. Could that be Bonnie? I'm not sure who Bonnie is, though. That could also be Bonnie. I have a suspicion this girl's name is November. I also have a suspicion she's pregnant here. So she had twins. She very much looks like an artist. I have a feeling that's gonna be Bonnie. Bonnie Hudson, but that wouldn't match up with the last name. I haven't found anything about Zachariah's children. I know that these two are twins. But I don't know who she married. Can I find that out? I feel like that's not going to be a simple search. No. Let's try Zachariah Morden next. That's very interesting. I feel like he should definitely have something in his name, considering he was the third president. And it looks like Guy Hudson is in here. Next president, Guy Hudson. I'm a little bit confused. So... Okay, so wait, Guy Hudson was president in 87. And Zachariah got the position much earlier than that. So Zachariah is actually the second president. Oh! Okay. Okay.